So hi, I'm Coral. Thank you so much for coming. This is a smaller room to be in here at SEAMUS. It's a wonderful room to be in, but you have to find it. So thank you for doing so. I'm going to talk a little bit about biometric data in live performance and how I've been doing so recently. Maybe some tools that you might find interesting, especially if you're thinking about using data in Max. Maybe just right off the bat, can I ask you, have you ever wanted to use your body itself directly as an instrument? Yeah, nice. Yeah, totally. Can I ask around the room? Okay, wonderful, love hands. Are you interested in talking about what you might want your project to look like or what you've done with your projects before?
Mine's not really like body per se, it's more like other organic materials like plant life or fungi.
Yeah.
Been interested in that.
Definitely.
I'm interested in assigning electric frequencies to pitches so that it kind of like improvises. I don't know.
Totally.
Based on what the electronic frequency is, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. So some conduction and electrodes and data mapping. Awesome. Any yes?
Mapping heartbeat to tempo, basically.
Mapping heartbeat to tempo. We will cover that. So that's awesome. And then in the back?
I'm not as a performer myself, but very interested in tracking musicians' movements, specifically string players with their bows, and perhaps dancers as well. So how that might be translated.
Gotcha. Yeah. So like knowing where the gestural threshold of this might be. I'm clearly not a string player. I'm more used to this. And knowing like where that arc turns into an arc that goes back the other way. Very cool. Anyone else? Yeah?
I would like to use sign language and shapes with your hands to track that. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, no, actually, let's get into it. So, I feel like these discrete different methodologies that we're talking about, whether they're gestural tracking or actual biometric tracking, they sort of change how you might go through a workflow. And to talk specifically about saving a gestural movement or to save a gesture. I feel like that might be accelerometers, because that's something that you can have a small device capture micro movements on, and through algorithmic machine learning, maybe Wekinator or Mubu, that might be able to be something that could be resourceful for you. Wekinator, does anybody know Wekinator in this room? Yeah? Have you used it before?
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. For gestural interfacing?
Kind of, just like the regression mapping stuff.
Gotcha. So then you would know that it's very open source. It's easy to move between platforms. It was originally created in 2009, and it allows you to create these predictive models. So where if you have a gesture downbeat, in 4/4, beat 2, in 4/4, beat 3, that sort of thing. You could do it staccato or tenuto. Did anybody ever take conducting and learn what tenuto gesture is? That's crazy, right? Tenuto conducting. Legato, and it would still be able to tell you, okay, that was beat 1, that was beat 2. So maybe Wekinator might be interesting for you. Please come in if you'd like to. There are more chairs. Audio is better on the inside. And so by using models, you don't have to code anything yourself. You just are able to be in that sort of play realm with gesture. And then Mubu is also a kind of historical Max capability from EarCom. This is a lecture. There's tons of Mubu tutorials, but ones that, sorry, I had Yeah, here we go. I had it skimmed here earlier. But the ability to draw a pattern, for the computer to learn that pattern, and then to have a certain kind of data come from that. He draws an infinity symbol, and then he draws a Z, and you can see very clearly that the computer is able to track basically that gesture. So that might be helpful, relevant for people interested in gesture tracking. Another possibility, as I'm sure you've seen, we are at SEAMUS. MediaPipe is extremely popular at the moment and has been for a little while. Downside, perhaps, is that once you're off frame, it's unable to track you. But to be able to very easily map like the curl of your finger to something without wearing something is very interesting. I feel like it presents an ability for you to get into this tracking biometrics realm without having to pay much upfront costs. So maybe this might be interesting to you. Here's
Playing guitar is hard. Playing the air is easy. Use MediaPipe inside of a JWeb object to track your hands. I'm using the MeGen package to make high-quality string models to simulate guitar strings. Measure the curl of the fingers of your left hand to pick your chords, and the position of your right hand to strum. Put it all together, and you can play the air guitar.
tons of seats if you want to come all the way around. Feel free. So, MediaPipe, possibly very important. It's developed by Google. Also, if you're interested in making touch designer visuals, this is a software that a lot of people have found success with in Touch Designer, tons of tutorials. Alternatively, maybe you might be interested in CVJIT, which is jitter. Anybody in here use jitter? Yes, awesome, cool. So you are incredible. Jitter evades me, mostly the keeping the right video screen up. So maybe you could share some tips with me after. Oh, and then this is a new one for me. So lately I've been experimenting with interfaces that directly translate force. For a little bit I was sort of doing contact improv, shout out Oberlin, I didn't go to Oberlin. And the underlying principle in contact improv is this sort of ability to notice when you have potential force that could be turned into kinetic force. So one body touching another body, okay, where does your body in that want to go? How it could fall, how it could push. And so I'm still working on what I'm currently calling my big ropes. Coral's big ropes, which will be 4 bungee cords that keep me in tension across a room, where when I pull on them, they're also at the other ends attached to load cells, which are the sensors used in scales that are able to tell you how much you weigh. So they're able to track how much force is applied on something to bend it. Hi. So yeah. But in the meantime, since I don't fully have my big cords, my big rope done, I've been working with stretch sensors as well.
Okay, extremely haphazard situation here, but when I pull this cord, this number goes up. Check it. Wow. Wow.
So that is also electrodes. So there's a resistor in the middle of the band, and one end is attached to an Arduino, one end is attached to ground. When you stretch it, it's able to measure how much it stretches. If you're interested in stretch sensors, Adafruit has this band that I just showed you right there. It's really thin, but it's really bendable, very pliable. And they sell it in 1 meter and 3 meter lengths. So do with that what you will, and please let me know how it goes. So all of these approaches track what you're doing, and yet I'm still so interested in the heart rate, which is sort of a measurement of what you've done, you know, instead of what you are actively doing. It is a consequence and not directly a reality of the moment. Or I guess it really is a reality of the moment. So during COVID, I realized that I was nurturing my mind, but not my body. So with all of those push notifications that I was getting from Apple Health, about 3 months free of Apple Fitness, I was influenced to download the app, and I started doing high intensity interval training, and I had not moved for 2 years at that point. So I think something about my impatience about getting that perfect bod as quickly as possible put me in touch with the part of myself that is also competitive against myself. And so I started doing high intensity interval training, jumping jacks, aerobics. My poor jumping jacks, my poor neighbors. I was on the second floor of the apartment building. But I loved it. It was so wonderful to be able to do these bursts of energy that inevitably subsided, but showed me that I was able to tolerate a lot of strain on my heart, more so than I thought, especially for a small period of time. So in doing that, I wrote a piece for marimba where I was hoping to get into heart rates and get into what is strenuous for the performer without doing a Fernie-Ho, just doing something with a focus on the body, a focus on the repercussions of the body, given difficult, indeterminate passages followed by moments of rest. That's why it's called circuit. And so at that time, though, I was not really in contact with professors that knew exactly how to help me get this data. So that was sort of put on the back burner for me, but this is a little bit what the piece sounds like and what it looks like. So you can see these blocks of, polyrhythms. So, actually, I like this part a lot. So you might imagine maybe what that would sound like with some sort of cheesy distortion happening if the heart rate was above 100 BPM or 120 BPM. Maybe I'm grateful that I did not know how to do that at that time. Instead, I instead chose to focus on the cognition aspect of performance, and I wrote a small meditation that I put in the front of that that's followed me through a couple other pieces. Most recently, I just wrote a piece called Hurricane Ariel, which is about feedback systems, much like hurricanes are, of low pressure systems and temperature causing a system to propel itself. So I thought, okay, well, what better metaphor than maybe feedback and delay, depending on exceeding or going beneath a specified BPM threshold. So I used a dynamic mic, put it in the piano, measured key press peaks, and then through that sort of audio-based on-off system, I created a max patch that looked for peaks and was able to report working BPM over time. And so I'm still sort of thinking through how to write these pieces where only one number influences an entire system. Maybe this is interesting. This is what the presentation view of that piece looks like. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to have access over the threshold in case the mic was positioned weirdly. We were also experimenting with a whole bunch of different pianos. I would love to do a version of this someday that is for MIDI so that it's obvious when the key presses are happening. But we had a Steinway D, so who's to complain? This is what it looks like not in presentation view. So a lot, we also had a pedal setup for selecting between different states, and then an expression pedal to put to go between dry and wet signal. And then this is the processing section if I were to have scrolled down with the delay and the reverb processing. Something to note here. Anything to note? Not really. I used Freeverb from a tutorial online. It was really easy to follow along with. And then this is what the inside of the B-patch, the tempo tracker is. It goes through an edge object and inevitably back out into time. So this is what that sounds like. So we were able to turn, like, wet and dry signal as per the pianist's aesthetic choosing. So in all of these pieces, I keep returning to the same question. What happens when the performer's state makes the choices of indeterminacy that the composer set out as an option? The body makes the decision, not necessarily the mind. And so in a way, the next piece that I'm going to talk about, the Max piece that I'm going to show you, is this piece that I've been trying to write since 2020. It just took me 5 years. In Arduino Nano, an external power bank, which hopefully stays on, a phone with a Wi-Fi hotspot that's connected. Heck yeah. A polar heart rate tracker. It's a chest strap. It's for people who run like crazy, people who run way better than I do. And before that, I guess, though, maybe some quick asides about my journey there. Some things not to do, maybe. So I tried using this app called Holonist. It's really cool and good, actually. Oh, let's see why that's happening. But I think it has a refresh rate issues, so I was kind of sad about that. But if you want an incredibly easy way of getting your BPM to control Ableton, this app has like just a button that you tap for Ableton Link, and if you're on the same Wi-Fi network, like it will immediately like take control of the transport in Ableton Live and like update way better than if you try and use it for exporting OSC. So yeah, maybe this is what it looks like. If you're interested in like just a one button solution for Ableton Live, I would definitely endorse it. I also tried maybe the lower cost version of heart rate sensors, but I wasn't able to keep them attached to my body while I was moving. And something about the way that they work is through light. Hey, and I just wasn't able to keep them at that precise point on my wrist with the precise light level that I coded in Arduino IDE. Something about it just didn't work for me perfectly. If you've experimented with these before, if you have any tips, it is so cool that you can buy this sensor for $2 instead of this one for $90. So hit me up if you have any suggestions or if you have any experience with that. But this thing, the Polar H10, uses electricity. It's a ECG instead of light detection, so it detects the tiny electrical signals that your heart produces with every beat by picking them up through this soft material. But in order for it to work, you have to wet it. So I'm just going to do that really quickly. Okay, it's done. So then I put it on here. And that's flush on my back. Can I ask somebody to help me put this? There's like a thing that you have to put on? Yeah, wait, can you help me? Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome, thank you. This is the battery, so it doesn't work unless it's, feel free and just shove it. Okay. You're good. Oh, perfect. Did it clip twice? Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so now it's on. Cool. So the signal flow for this is it goes through here into Arduino Nano, over Wi-Fi, into the cloud, through Python, and then into Max MSP, goodness, who am I? Maybe some terms, MQTT, message queuing, telemetry, transport. It's just lightweight messaging protocol, and then Hive MQ is a free place to receive that data, so that if this laptop or this Arduino lost connection, they would still have like a record of where those messages were being sent, and there would be an intermediary. It's super helpful for if you want to be on different Wi-Fi networks, like this earlier thing that I mentioned, Holonist. You'd have to be on the same Wi-Fi network in order to receive the data, and then this is a solution that is post-network. No, I'm kidding. It is entirely within network. So everything in this patch that I'm about to show you is, in a way, sort of a collection of opinions about what my heartbeat data means. What do I mean by that? So I would love to show you this Max patch. Ta-da. Ajita of Ajita. So, going across it. So initializer over here is where the data comes in. Let's see, if cool, love that, but comma, and however, semicolon. So I think I know what's happening, and I just downloaded this proprietary app that Polar has so that I could maybe see my heartbeat on my phone, but I think it like takes it from my Arduino, so I just deleted it, and now we can see my heartbeat is actually quite high because that was stressful. Wait, I should take a sip of water. Everyone love meditation here? Let's do a quick meditation together. Breathe in. Breathe out. You can do a better one. Let's be really calm. Let's be competitive about how calm we are. Okay, breathe in. And let it all out. Cool. Thanks for doing that with me. So this initializer is what takes the OSC data and turns it into numbers. And then from there, it goes into a couple of different, like, small little audio generation areas. It goes into an oscillator, or two oscillators. Oscillator 2 is like a shoddy copy that's off by a couple cents so that it's a little thicker. And then it goes into a spectral harmonic layer, and it goes into a granular noise texture, which I'll show you a little bit more of. I think you would find it cool. But yeah, before it goes into this oscillator, it goes into a probabilistic step sequencer built around a drunk object that you can see right here. Can I zoom in? Is that helpful? You can see it kind of good, right? Is that okay? Sorry, did you have a question? No, you're good. You're good. Okay, cool. So two detuned oscillators from a step sequencer. So at rest, it takes small continuous steps, and then as my heartbeat speeds up in the like 150 to 180 range, it starts to leap unpredictably. And then the heart rate also controls this filter frequency cutoff. And then this goes into like a hard clipping situation. And that also, I think at one point I wanted to make interactive. So that is mixed. Here, I'll show you over here. There's a mixer. So that's one source into the mixer. Another source into the mixer is the spectral harmonic layer, where this module treats my heart rate as a fundamental frequency scaled between 30 and 120 hertz. And then it's multiplied across 6 partials of the harmonic sequence: the fundamental, the octave in the fifth, 2 octaves plus a major third, the harmonic seventh, and the tritone. And then they're scaled so that as my heart rate increases, the volume or the amplitude of the fundamental decreases on this sort of weighted spectrum that tilts the tritone more loud, with more amplitude as my heart rate increases. And then we have this 30-voice granular synth, built entirely from scratch inside Gen, built from scratch inside Gen, but I wonder if you can see the pop-up for that. Okay, maybe not. Did I break it? No. Okay. So I'll show you the sub patch inside Gen if you're interested. It's really, really cool. Each of the 30 voices runs an independent grain with cubic interpolation and per grain pitch spread, randomized stereo panning, and an envelope that lets us have click-free grain boundaries. And so as my heart rate increases, grain size diminishes, scatter explodes, this like spray. You can see a scale from 0 to 1, 0 to 1, 0 to 1, 0 to 1. And pitch randomization spreads. There's also some super cool other stuff that I'm sure would be really cool for you to know about, but it's sort of a surprise. So let's see what this sounds like. Yeah, we got everything going. Yeah, that's my heart rate. No. What about, so my thought process in all of this was like, I was maybe gonna like do some jumping jacks or something to like increase it, but maybe I should actually just breathe so that you can see it lower. I don't want to look at it. Have you ever laid on the floor? I'm fine with it.
If you sit up, try to believe what you're like rolling into something
will like reset your heart rate.
Is it working? I got too excited about it. Sorry, could you set that? Can you tell me the trick again?
Yeah, so if you're, it's like a basal resetting thing, it's really getting done. If you like, try to breathe out, but like, if you like turn yourself all the way back, it will like dramatically lower your You should probably not be so.
That's pretty good, right? I feel like